After a surprisingly calm election, despite some radicals boycotting it, the votes had been counted and were announced. And to no one's surprise, Quentin Roosevelt won, but no one expected such a landslide. This will allow the Progressive Party to pass legislation without any opposition. But before they can start to fully implement their ideas, we first need to begin reconstruction and deal with the political aftermath of the Civil War. While radicalism was brought down to moderate level before the elections, clan, syndicalist and populist resistance is still widespread. And this is hurting us a lot, so we must immediately deal with it. Starting with the syndicalists by destroying their radicalism. But our progressive government are still sympathetic to their ideas and will adopt some laws to require higher worker control over the workplace. And finally, regarding unions, all loyal to the government were allowed to exist. Now, turning to the American First Party. Despite Pendergast deposing him, Huey Long has kept a lot of influence, and despite his populist rhetoric, we have decided to integrate his party into the Progressive Party, so they were able to win over many of their voters. Finally, regarding the Klan, we will crack down on them hard to fully destroy them and at the same time allowing African Americans to join society by ending the Jim Crow laws. So, with resistance now down to a minimum and the political situation fixed, we can turn towards our economy. Starting by rebuilding our roads and railways to link up our vast country. After that, we subsidized businesses through massive economic investments with the goal of rebuilding our American industrial might. But as we started planning relief efforts for our farmers, we received urgent news from the Entente. The Reichspakt had collapsed, with France and Russia splitting Germany in two. This meant the Internationale could turn their whole army and navy towards the Entente. They have already naval invaded French Algeria and captured Tunis. But not only that, Mexico is invading Venezuela, and the Japanese have started their invasions of the East Indies. The Entente needs our help immediately, but with our army only consisting of normal infantry, we wouldn't be able to provide much assistance. Luckily, despite our economy not having fully recovered, it is massive and we have several options to improve the strength of our army. The first, we will diversify our current homogeneous infantry. By investing into rocket artillery and anti-tank guns, we will be able to create specialized anti-tank infantry and infantry with a lot of soft attack, both supported by anti-air. But not only that, motorized variants with scout cars will be created as well, to adapt to the highly mobile warfare of some nations. The second, instead of only relying on infantry, we will invest into light tanks and mechanized. While they might lack firepower and armor, they will be able to outmaneuver most if not all enemy forces and wreak havoc on all enemy light infantry. The units would also be cheap to produce, allowing us to eventually have several armies of them deployed. The third, light tanks are too weak to combat other tanks, so instead we will create a medium tank division supported by heavy tank destroyers. While of course more expensive and slower than light tanks with more armor and firepower, they will hopefully be able to pierce any enemy tank while still staying safe. The fourth, Amtrak amphibious tank marines. While we will invest into stronger marines despite what you pick, since we will need them to liberate Europe and invade Japan, a big number of admirals believe that normal marines won't be enough. So instead they seek to invest heavily into Amtrak and amphibious tanks to support our marines. This will hopefully allow them to invade every beach and cross every river, but they are costly, so other than that our army would consist of mostly infantry. The fifth, Air Force and paratroopers. In the current wars, air power has shown to play a huge role in securing victory. While we will of course fund our Air Force and create fighters and close air support, no matter what you choose, we have the option to invest even more. This would allow our Air Force to construct heavy fighters and strategic bombers to rain hellfire on our enemies. But not only that, we could become one of the first nations with paratroopers. While they are vulnerable in battle, enough of them landing behind enemy lines could turn a losing battle to a winning one. But before you go vote just yet, since our economy has such a big potential to host a massive army, there will be 2 winners instead of 1. But the one with the most votes will of course be developed first. So which of the 5 options do you think will help us defeat the syndicalist and Japanese threat the easiest? To vote, head to my community post or click on the link on the top right corner. To not miss the next episode, which will hopefully be released in 2 days, please subscribe and hit the bell. Thanks for watching and go make your vote count.